Hey everybody, this is Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com, and today I'm going to take a look at basic open position chord embellishments. Now you hear this a lot in popular rock, pop, country. It's a technique that sounds like there's a lot going on, but it's actually not very complicated. As long as you can get a little bit of some hammer-ons and pull-offs going, it makes it sound a lot more fancy than if you were just strumming a chord or just randomly just straight picking across it. So what I did here, just to kind of make it as simple and easy to understand for people, is I outlined all the major chords, open chords that we use and add those embellishments to. And then so you start with a chord, and then we'll take a look at every single chord in the scale that you can use to create those embellishments. All right, so let's start with the C major chord, and I think you'll get what I'm doing here. We start with the C major, and the idea is to make everything just ring out as much as possible. So let's take here do a legato lick here. We're picking the first fret, hammering on the third fret, pull back off to the to the first finger, and then pull off to the open string. That might be kind of awkward, but try to hold the low notes as much as possible because it'll prepare you for this type of playing. So just strum the chord, and then perhaps strum it again and practice the next string of licks. So make sure you're following along with the tab here, because the tab follows along with all the notes that work in the key for each chord. And then strum the chord again, and then strum it again. Now I didn't put the strums everywhere. The tab is not meant to really be in a certain timing, correct timing. It's just I'm trying to separate those licks with some rest, so you can see that we separate each string. So all right, now how do you use this stuff? Now we're going to do this with every single chord, but you don't have to always play this lick. That is the full 4 notes, but you can say, I just want to hammer on from the first finger to the pinky. So you can pick across the strings, just add that to add a little bit of flair to it, or pull off from the pinky to the open string. You can do anything you want with those 4 notes. All right? And do the same thing on the second string. You can just hammer on 1 to 3, or hammer on from the open string to the first finger. That's what we're trying to get across here. You're the one that got to create the licks. These are just the notes that you would do it with. When it comes to the picking, there's really, when people are doing this kind of stuff, it's kind of a random pattern. My idea for this is developing this is to slowly just start randomly picking strings. Now, what you need to concentrate on is when you pick a string, always pick in the direction of the next string that you're going to pick. And that'll make this kind of random string plucking technique, instead of playing straight up and straight back down, it'll make that a lot more smooth. So you add just some random stuff together, or a little random pattern that you come up with, and then add it to some of these little chord embellishments. And it's that easy to create that kind of sound. Let's do the same thing with D major. We have a D major chord, and the notes we can use is just the second, third fret, second fret, and then open. Now I'm not talking about what these chords are. We're creating like a lot of suspended chords, by the way, but don't really worry about that. Just get the notes and get it underneath your fingers so you can start creating these kind of parts. So I'm just doing that with a random little D pattern, and I'm just messing around with those 4 notes. And it creates a lot more interesting sound. All right, I think you get what I'm doing here. Then the D minor version. So just mess around with those notes. Okay, A major. Now you might have to finger this one a little bit differently. When I'm doing these kind of embellishments with this, I like to hold it with my second finger playing the 2nd fret on the B string, and then my 1st finger playing the 3rd and 4th string there. That allows me to go. Okay, so it's pretty easy to create some interesting patterns with all this stuff. So just go through all these chords. There's 2 pages going through the A minor, the G major, the E major, the E minor, and take these simple patterns and this simple concept, the picking, and just randomly pick some chord pattern. Okay, just simple stuff like that, and it'll get you so far and to be able to do it. You'll also hear people use moving bass lines in this. You kind of hear this kind of thing. So basically that's all it's doing is when you have a descending line, they're usually holding a chord shape. So let's say they're holding a G here. And they keep picking lines throughout the chord, and then all you need to be able to do is play the notes within the key under it. So you just keep moving down to the low string. So usually the bass line goes in the direction of the next chord you're going to play. So if I'm playing a C chord, then I know the next chord that I'm going to base my lines around is going to be A minor. Well, usually you'll play that C bass line all the way down to the A. So we got this. So I'm holding the rest of the C chord in my hand while I do that bass line. I went back to the C and I just went up back through the scale in the bass line. So it's just experimenting with stuff like that. It's actually, you don't want to overthink it. There's just a couple of things that are going on. Some nice little embellishing of the chord, and just around these open strings allow you to do that because you're not playing bars. So you have fingers available to do those kind of things, and you have open strings you can play off of. And that is usually the foundation. When you ever hear this done, it's done in a lot of popular country music and rock music and folk music. So it might be a sound that's confusing to people and what's going on there. It sounds a lot more complicated than it really is. So just take these little exercises and see if you can come up with some cool stuff. All right, I'll see you guys then. Don't forget to put your request in at guitarlessons365.com. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.